Hi, welcome to Emily Elizabeth Reads. My name is Emily, and today I am going to be doing a quick historical romance book haul. So I went on kind of a historical book buying binge, so I have quite a few books to haul today. So the first place I got my books from were used from Thrift Books. I went ahead and got a couple series that I have been interested in reading. So the first series is The Hellions of Havisham by Lorraine Heath. So the first book in that series is called Falling into Bed with a Duke. I have already read this first book. I ended up giving it 4 stars. This is a one night only trope, as well as a hidden identity trope. So the second book in the Hellions of Havisham series is The Earl Takes All by Lorraine Heath. Here's the step back. So I'm actually currently reading this one. That's what the bookmark in here is all about. So yes, this is a kind of enemies to lovers. Again, another kind of hidden identity, secret identity kind of romance and widow romance. And then the third book in the Hellions of Havisham series is called The Viscount and the Vixen by Lorraine Heath. I actually really love this cover. There's no step back, I don't think. No step back. But I really love the blue and the dark, like on this cover. So that is book 3. This follows Locke, who is friends with the heroes from the first 2 books, and I believe he is the son of like a madman. So his uncle was lost his wife when he was older, and then apparently spiraled into madness because of his grief. And that's all I know about that one. So then the other series that I went ahead and bought was I bought the first few books in Elizabeth Hoyt's Maiden Lane series. So I own the first book. I believe it's called Wicked Intentions. I own that on Kindle. I've started reading that. I haven't finished it, but I will get to that. I know this series is pretty beloved by quite a few people. So book 2 is called Notorious Pleasures. That's the cover. That's the step back. Ooh, look at that. They're in a boat. Book 3 is called Scandalous Desires. This is the step back. They're in a tub. Wow. So Elizabeth Hoyt, I've noticed, I guess maybe this series in particular has some really beautiful step backs. This is book 5. They Thrift Book didn't actually have book 4, so I'm gonna have to pick that up somewhere else. But book 5 is Lord of Darkness. Here's the step back. Gorgeous. And then book 6 is Duke of Midnight. Oh, that's a bummer. Duke of Midnight. And then here's the step back. Like, look at that. That's so pretty. Yeah, so I will be trying to read most all of this series this year. I've heard only good things about this series. Okay, and then the rest of the books I got new. So there's a couple of books I got for kind of book clubs here on YouTube. The first is for, I think it's called the Rake Appreciation Society. I don't know if I've gotten that wrong or right, but it is a book club run by Jen from the Book Refuge and Crystal from Crystal's Bookish Life. And then this next month, I think there will be reading Texas Destiny by Lorraine Heath. I have not read like a Texas historical, but I know that Lorraine Heath does write Texas historicals. I think she has 2 series that she writes. So this is the first in the, I'm not sure, but this is the first in one of her Texas trilogy. I think they're both trilogies. And then Jess from Peace Love Books and Samantha from Books with Samantha, they also run a a book club on YouTube, and I think they do mostly old school historicals. I'm not sure if it's exclusively old school historicals, but I know this last month they did a Judith McNaught, I believe, and then next month they are doing Shanna by Kathleen Woodiwiss. Now, I have not read any Kathleen Woodiwiss, so when I saw that they were going to be doing this, I picked it up. This is a hunker of a book. It is quite chunky. I believe it has to do with, like, the heroine makes a deal with a prisoner. She agrees to marry a prisoner in order to, in order for him to be freed from the gallows. I think he's on, like, death row or something. So yeah, this is Shanna. I'm excited to give this a whirl. I might pick this up on Kindle as well, just because it is so large. I also picked up, so I have the first book in this Kerrigan Byrne series, which I think is called How to Love a Duke in 10 Days. I have this on Kindle, so I figured I would pick up the other books in the trilogy. I don't know if she's currently writing this or if this is older, but the second book is called, I think this one is the second book. It's called Allscott and Bothered. I don't think I have read a Scottish or a Highlander romance by Kerrigan Byrne yet, but I love Kerrigan Byrne's writing. She writes, like, real angsty historicals. The third book in this series is called The Devil in Her Bed, and I also picked up this one as well. I picked up another Kathleen Woodiwiss book. This is The Flame and the Flower. This is definitely a historical romance title that one often hears out and about when discussing historical romance with other readers. So I picked it up because I would like to dive into more old school historicals, even though I think this was written and published in 2007. Was it? No, this was written in 1972. It is an old historical romance, and I would like to read more old school historical romances. So I believe this is a pirate romance. And I think that the heroine is actually abducted by the hero and taken out to sea or something. So that is wild. I would like to check this out. Another book I picked up is called The Duke I Once Knew by Olivia Drake. I am trying to read some more new to me historical romance authors, so I have not read anything by Olivia Drake, but this is the first in her Unlikely Duchesses series. So this is a governess and her employer romance, I believe. So I always do enjoy a governess romance. So hopefully I like this one. I also picked up Love is a Rogue by Lenora Bell. I believe this is her first in the new series, Wallflowers versus Rogues. I know that the heroine in this is named Lady Beatrice, and she is a bookish heroine. And I believe the hero is renovating her brother's house, which is like a Gothic mansion. So I'm hoping there's maybe some bookish feels in this and some Gothic romance feels. But I know Lenora Bell writes some like pretty light romance, so we'll see what I think about this one. I pretty much always like what she writes. So I also really love this cover. I just think it's pretty. Another new to me author is Kate Bateman. I have not actually heard about her, but this cover just caught my eye when I was shopping around. So this is called This Earl of Mine, and this is the first in the Bow Street Bachelors series. I don't really know much about this series or this author. I just wanted to check out somebody new, so I'll let you know what I think of this one. And then another series I wanted to get caught up on is The Union of the Rakes by Eva Leigh. So I read the first book in this series, which is called My Fake Rake. I believe this series is connected or based around The Breakfast Club and other like 80s and 90s movies tropes. So the first one was, it follows like the Brainiac character from the Breakfast Club. I think his name's Brian, I'm not sure. And then it also had kind of a she's all that twist to it. So yeah, I think I gave that book 4 stars, and I'm really excited to read more. So the second book in this series is Would I Lie to the Duke? And the third book in this series is Waiting for a Scot Like You by Eva Leigh. I think the colors of this series are so pretty. I also got the new Joanna Shupe book. This is a first in her new series. I believe it's the first in a new series. So this is kind of a spin-off, I believe, of her Uptown Girl series, but this is called The Fifth Avenue Rebels. I always like Joanna Shupe novels because she writes historicals that take place in New York, in America, which is always kind of interesting to go off and read different settings than just your typical Regency or Victorian England historicals. So yes, I'm excited to get to this one. I do have to finish Uptown Girl series. I've only read the first in that series, but I would like to finish it and then move on to this. And then the last book that I have here is The Duke Heist by Erica Ridley. I've heard good things about this author, but I have never read her. So this is the first in her most recent series. I'm excited to read this one because it seems like it's got a lot of action-based historical romance going on here. So yes, this one revolves around there's a heist for a painting, there's orphans, and it sounds like maybe the heroine accidentally abducts the hero. It kind of sounds like that's what's gonna happen in this. Yeah, so I'm excited to read this one. I did go a little crazy, but I've been in a historical romance mood lately, so hopefully I will get to all of these soon and I can do a historical romance wrap up for you. That was my historical romance book haul. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be back with some more videos soon.